Every game says it's a masterpiece, but let's be real, most of them are lying.
Welcome to Good, Great, or Garbage, the series where I play games that you're talking about and some that you probably should have ignored. We're talking new releases, underrated gems, and just some overhyped disasters. And there can only be three outcomes: good, great, or garbage.
Please do keep in mind that these are all my personal opinions based on my experience with the game at the time of recording. I may not know everything about the game, so just bear with me.
Greetings, Skays, and welcome to another wonderful episode of Triple G. I'm sorry we ain't uploaded a video of Triple G in a minute. It's just, look, we've been on a streak of playing buns games that really just not worth no review, but that changes this episode. Before we do actually hop into the game of today, I need to reiterate something. This review series and the videos that come from it are based on my current experience with the game. Not past, not future, not what the devs got going on or drama. Pretty much what's in front of us and what we can actually play right now. Nothing more, nothing less. Anyways, with that out the way, the game of today is Grand Alfheim. Probably the best upcoming Sword Art Online inspired Roblox game this platform has ever seen, and a lot of y'all already know what this game is. Now, for those that are new here, there are chapters down below if you want to see a specific point in today's rant, and if you do enjoy this video, I promise you'll enjoy another one of my other videos, so make sure you subscribe and go check them out. I'll also be going over the game's release date, early access, and how you actually can obtain it today at the end of this video, so stick around to see that. Hopping into our first chapter of today's video will be the current Grand Alfheim experience. Now, if you haven't tested a game or tested the game a while ago, then you know the game is currently and constantly undergoing a ton of changes. The current Grand Alfheim is not the same as older versions of the game, so let me tell you about what the game currently has. Hopping into Grand Alfheim for the very first time, you're greeted with a beautiful home screen where you get to choose a slot and customize. There's quite a bit to do in here when it comes to customization, so just have fun with it. Ending off the character customization, you finally get to a screen where you can roll for your character's height and weight, and this looks confusing, but pretty much you roll for your character's height, which gives you a different set of, attack speeds or range, and the same for weight. I'm not actually sure how much of a difference this plays actually in game because I didn't really notice anything, but it's definitely there for cosmetic reasons if you're interested in it. After you finish customizing your character, you're put through a mandatory tutorial which pretty much teaches you the basic ins and outs of the games, how to talk to a blacksmith, parries, and the basic stuff a tutorial will show you. Afterwards, spawning in for the first time, there's a cutscene of you literally falling out the sky, which introduces you to the start of the current quest line. And I say current quest line because a lot of things that are currently in Grand Alfheim are low-key subject to change. I don't know what's gonna stay and what's gonna change, or what's gonna be there and what's gonna get tweaked. The beginner quest line introduces you to the world of Grand Alfheim, more specifically the first town, the ice city of Nome. The beginner quest line ain't too much, it ain't nothing crazy, nothing too fancy, but it has a lot of genuine lore and plot to it, so y'all already know I'm not really interested in plot like that. I'ma just skip to the action, but for my lore lovers out there, you definitely got some lore. For those of y'all that are planning to progress in this game alone and be solo like my boy Aura King Kirito, be aware, this ain't no solo game at all, bro. Unless you plan to sit there and learn attack patterns of level 1 mobs that's gonna beat you up at level 14, be my guest. But I highly suggest that you go on the game's Discord, you actually use the guild surge feature, join yourself a guild, or join my guild, my Discord, link in description, and progress with other people, because progressing is torture if you're trying to do it solo. I learned the hard way. Mobs and dungeons are pretty difficult early games, so again, use the guild feature. Unless you are pretty high level, do not expect to do anything alone. And this kind of gives me the vibe of the actual SAO anime. Y'all know when Kirito and his friends, they was always together, they was going clearing dungeons in Grand Alfheim. They was always together doing stuff, bosses, Easter eggs, stuff like that. It kind of gives me that authentic MMO RPG kind of vibe to it, where it really promotes playing alongside friends. And I actually like that. The quest line is still being worked on, so to progress after reaching the flight quest, you take on dungeons, you do world bosses, or run an arena PvP. I'm not too sure about the arena PvP part because I never really touched anything about the PvP. So don't expect me to know anything about that, man. And this pretty much is a basic rundown and overview of the current Grand Alfheim experience. It's gonna be super basic, straight to the point, nothing, not a whole bunch of details. And I'm sorry about that, but if you want more details and you wanna know, you're free to hop in for yourself or continue sticking around for one of the Grand Alfheim streams or upcoming videos. With our basic rundown of the game out the way, let's talk about some of the game's flaws. This segment won't be me critiquing the game for where it lacks, but mainly to give y'all a peek into why the game currently isn't released. Kind of like, you know, a window of transparency, so y'all get some insight that the devs probably ain't give y'all, because we kind of silent over here. Like I said earlier, a lot of the things in Grand Alfheim are currently being reworked, added, or they're completely subject to change. So the game feels like playing a project that's actively being built with the farther that you get into the game. There's a number of bugs, both big and small, that make the game unable to be released at the moment, and the devs are working daily to fix and tweak these existing systems while also adding newer content, and they do add stuff kinda fast. Like, I remember there was a bug where an NPC was just didn't work, and in a few hours and minutes or whatever, it was fixed. I know a lot of y'all like Grand Alfheim, but like I personally say, I'd rather wait for a polished project to release than play a rushed idea, and that's exactly what they're doing. The thing about Grand Alfheim is the devs aren't in a rush to push out in their game. They're not in a rush to push out no content. You're gonna see a TikTok here and there. You might see a trailer, maybe, probably not. They're not in a rush to release anything. They're actually working on things, polishing systems, making sure they work, making sure they don't mess up your FPS. So I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to play a game where getting on the boat has a 50% chance to launch me into orbit, bro. And that sums up the flaws in Grand Alfheim. I'm not a very rudely critical person, and for those that have been here before, you already know that. So I'm not going to spend my time beating down a game that's actively being worked on with passion. So that just don't make a whole lot of sense to me. Anyways, moving forward, let me tell you about my opinion on Grand Alfheim. And before I say anything, I want to make this very clear. I'm playing this game out of my free will and own volition. I ain't getting paid for it. I ain't getting goddamn boosted. I ain't getting no items. I'm not getting none. You know what I'm saying? Unless Rio want to slide a couple bucks or give me some armors, maybe custom rollers. I just genuinely like the game for what it is and the vibe that it gives me. I really like Grand Alfheim after my first playthrough of the early game. It felt like a good breath of fresh air in a busy city of cash grabs, exit scams, brain rot, and some other release projects. And once this game releases, I can tell you right now, this gonna hold the spot of best SAO game for a long time. We might all have families by the time this game releases though. Grand Alfheim has features and additions from outside of SAO, unique ideas, and things late in the later seasons of Sword Art Online, like Sword Art Alicization. And I love how they aren't boxed into just being a Roblox copy of the 100 floors from Minecraft. Grand Alfheim feels like an actual RPG. It feels like there's an actual world around it, not just one floor, 2 floor, 7 floor, 18th floor. Now I ain't trying to glaze this game for 15 minutes or to sum it up based on what the game currently has to offer. I'm low-key addicted to it, and y'all will be seeing more Grand Alfheim content from me. So to wrap up our very short review on Grand Alfheim, let's answer our final question: the game's release date. And the answer to that is I don't know. The devs haven't said anything about a release date, and after a little more, insider information based on this video, I hope y'all can understand why. However, if you do want to play the game in its current state right now, there are 3 different ways to obtain tester or early access. The first option is to buy the game's Patreon, which can be found inside the game's Discord. The second option is to wait for community events. These events have all types of requirements, but they all end up in giving you early access. And the third and final requirement, my personal opinion on the requirement that you should do: subscribe to Atsuya-san and join the Grand Alfheim Discord. The last way is just to be a content creator for the game. Now, quick disclaimer, there are no copies of Grand Alfheim. Grand Alfheim is one game, and it is not playable by sitting in a lobby waiting for a certain amount of hours to get access, or buying a game pass to get it, or buying access through a Roblox game. You can only get access through the game's Discord, so do not get scammed. With that, let me know your thoughts about Grand Alfheim in the comments down below, and let me know if y'all want to see more of this. I hope the transparency answers a lot of your questions on Grand Alfheim. So I hope to catch y'all on the next stream of Grand Alfheim or video. With that, peace.